if you've been around our channel for a while, you know we love Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. The combat mechanics of that game were just so unique that there's only been a few titles just like it. So when a game comes out claiming its combat and gameplay are similar to Sekiro, fans like us, while maybe skeptical, give them our undivided attention. And Shift Up Corporation's new title, Stellar Blade, aims to do just that. There are immense expectations with their first AAA title, navigating numerous controversies along the way. But the Stellar Blade actually rise to the challenge and give us a game with combat that's just as fun and engaging? Or is this game banking on too much fan service? We're very excited to try this out, so let's just get into it. Stellar Blade takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth where humanity is driven off planet by monsters known as the Natiba. In hopes of reclaiming their planet, humanity deploys airborne squads to do just that. You will take control of Eve, one of the members of the 7th Airborne Squad, where you'll undertake an almost impossible task of eliminating the monster threat by taking down their leader, the Elder Natiba. Okay, so we're not gonna sugarcoat it. The story of Stellar Blade is by far its weakest aspect. A lot of times we found ourselves scratching our heads, not really sure where the plot was headed, but it also doesn't help that the game's dialogue can feel very flat most of the time.
Actually, there's a city where other survivors, besides me, live.
What? Really?
Most of the characters could definitely use some fleshing out, and a few of the scenes and character interactions are a bit flat and cringy. Supporting characters like Adam feel a bit awkward when interacting with him, and it's especially off-putting since you're literally with him 99% of the time. Fortunately, its main character, Eve, still manages to steal the show. While the bar is pretty low, her character arc is hands down the best part of Stellar Blade's story. She goes from an obedient foot soldier to someone that starts doubting the very thing she's fighting for. Sure, it's a generic plotline, but it still manages to be pretty convincing. And hey, credit where it's due. We did find the nods to biblical themes pretty nice. Though it might be a little too on the nose with characters like Eve, Adam, and Lily, stuff like the Natibas being a reference to biblically accurate angels are also pretty neat. While the game's story has its moments where it truly shines, there are instances where it feels oddly paced, badly written, and fails to execute key moments. The pacing can be somewhat inconsistent, leaving the narrative lacking in certain aspects. However, it does redeem itself during the climax and ending, offering multiple conclusions where player choices truly matter. Unfortunately, these high points are somewhat dampened by awkward pauses, peculiar dialogue, and hardly any character development for all but a few individuals. Thankfully, Eve is among those who received proper attention in this regard. We here at GameMate love Sekiro and games like it, and when we played Stellar Blade's demo, it got us very interested in playing the full game. So is Stellar Blade as good as Sekiro? Well, yes, but also no. When it comes to combat, Stellar Blade draws a lot of inspiration from Sekiro. During encounters, you'll be dodging, parrying, while utilizing both light and heavy attack combos to defeat your opponents. Instead of a posture meter, enemies have something called balance, represented by the yellow diamonds below their health bar. Each successful parry reduces their balance by 1, and if you reduce it to 0, you can perform a retribution to deal massive damage. Parrying also isn't the end-all be-all of the combat system. While parrying is very important, you can overcome a lot of enemy encounters just by damaging them. Eve has a lot of options when it comes to dealing with enemies, like attack combos and weapon abilities, and these do a ton of damage if you know how to use them. Unlike Sekiro and other Souls games, Stellar Blade is also way flashier when it comes to its combat, allowing you to use different weapon abilities called beta skills. Beta skills is Stellar Blade's standout feature, adding depth and extra flash to battles. With a diverse range of enemies, you'll feel like an unstoppable badass the further you progress it. And while it is definitely easier, as you have a lot more tools at your disposal, Stellar Blade still prioritizes and rewards strategic gameplay. It strikes a perfect balance between that and giving you that OP protagonist vibe the longer you play. It's also worth noting that the boss battles in this game are an absolute blast. They're cinematic and challenging, so you better prepare yourself for some tough fights and the occasional need to start over. Stellar Blade also offers a lot of things outside of combat encounters. There are outfits, quests, and puzzles to keep you preoccupied if you don't want to go rushing in to finish the main story. Customizing Eve is a big part of the game, and nanosuits are one of the major items you can collect, and there are over 30 that you can find and unlock. Aside from that, you can also change Eve's hairstyle, earrings, and glasses for further customization. There are also a bunch of these cans littered around the game world, and Eve would decide to be a little bit extra once you get it. There are just a lot of things to do, and you're going to spend a lot of time in this game just wondering about, especially in finding suits alone. What enhances the game even further are the stunning visuals. While there may be some mundane areas like the sewer or parking lot, there are numerous breathtaking set pieces that compel you to pause and admire the world's intricacies. One area that particularly stood out to me was Zion City. However, what truly steals the show are the characters. Their designs are striking, reminiscent of Korean manhwas, with female characters boasting striking features and soft, gentle faces, while male characters, on the other hand, exude a cool demeanor. But Eve undoubtedly steals the spotlight, particularly with the option to customize her with various outfits and accessories. Eve did stir up quite a bit of controversy due to her overtly sexualized design and costumes. While we won't deny the developer's intent in creating her with a certain appeal, she is definitely more than her aesthetics, as her character goes through a lot in this game. Eve is definitely comparable with characters like Bayonetta, 2B, and even Dante from Devil May Cry. They're badass, sexy, and stylish. Stellar Blade's music and sound design are simply incredible, whether it's the adrenaline-pumping boss battle tracks or the soothing hymns accompanied by Pernell's beautiful vocals. The audio in this game is a real treat. If you find yourself feeling a sense of familiarity with the beats and musical style in Stellar Blade, there is a good reason for it. The music studio behind the game is owned by none other than Keiichi Okabe, known for his work on the Nier series. While Okabe couldn't contribute directly to this game, his influence is unmistakable, thanks to the talents of Wang Zuyun, Oliver Good, and Keita Inoue, who crafted a memorable soundtrack. The sound effects are also sharp and satisfying, which is very important to a game like this. The sound effects for perfect parries and dodges in this game are extremely satisfying, and hearing that consecutive burst of lightning as you parry 5 successive hits never gets old. And while the English voice acting has its flaws, Eve's voice stands out as exceptional. However, if you want the ultimate voice acting experience, the Korean dub is unmatched in quality.
이런 곳에 레퓨지 캠프가
레퓨지 캠프? 그게 뭔데?
a supply camp in a place like this.
Supply camp? What's that?
We gotta extend our congratulations to Shift Up Studios and director Hyung-tae Kim for overcoming the odds and controversies, particularly with this being their first AAA game. Stellar Blade truly shines and exceeds expectations, though it does have its shortcomings like its story. Even so, the game lives up to its name as a true, stellar experience. It unquestionably lives up to its hype, particularly in its combat and customization alone. Because of this, we're giving Stellar Blade a stellar 9 out of 10. It's really great that Sekiro likes are becoming a more prominent thing these days. But what about you? What genres in gaming do you want to see more? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Game8 signing off.